do you know what? I think they've got pretty much to breaking point.
I agree with you. I feel that there has been an absolute change.
Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I think we've all come to realise that the country's in a bit of a predicament, okay? There's some things going wrong with this country, and it's not just small things either. They're kind of large, they're kind of big. I think what we've also come to realise is that the problems are systemic. Now I won't go on too much, you know, you've clicked on this video to listen to Rupert Lowe, so here's the video.
The genesis of this problem started, as usual, with Blair, Brown, Campbell and Mandelson. And what they wanted to do is create a dependency culture, which is effectively what Labour like, because they like statism, they like people who rely on the state. It usually means that Labour does well in an election. And as you know, the state accounts for, well, depends on who you believe, but certainly over 46% of GDP directly and probably more indirectly. So, look, I mean, you mentioned Motability. My friends now buy second-hand Motability cars because they can't afford to buy new ones. So that sort of says to you where it's all gone wrong. And Motability, if you ever question Motability, which I've done, you get absolutely destroyed by people who are clearly benefiting unfairly from it. So I trust the government to distribute nothing sensibly. It's completely out of control. The DWP is just a farce. And on the one hand, you've got HMRC who are crushing the private sector, in line with, you know, Angela Rayner's workers' rights legislation, which is costing the private sector $5 billion. Rachel Reeves' tax increases so far, which is costing goodness knows. But I mean, the national insurance increase and the national insurance threshold cut is causing private businesses a huge problem, as you're seeing. Probably employment numbers are dropping, obviously, because the economy is not growing, because Labour don't understand the genesis of how an economy grows. It grows through individual risk-taking, and it grows through people basically investing long-term and creating wealth, not by governments sort of following some fad or fashion with taxpayers' money and wasting it, which is look at HS2 as an example. I think we give all this foreign aid out. I think we give Pakistan £133 million a year, and we therefore have leverage. So if they refuse to take back these rapists, and you know, you only got to look at the way in which our legal system is getting it all wrong. When you look at the sentences that are handed out to these people, and you juxtapose that against the sentence that was handed out to Lucy Connolly. We're trying to hopefully have a debate on that issue in Parliament if enough people sign our petition, which we're hoping will go live soon. So I think you know, we need to start getting tough, and we need a government that puts the interests of the British taxpayers at the top of the agenda. I think I'm right in saying that at the moment we're spending something like $1 billion a month on foreign national asylum seekers, and something like $1 billion a year on illegal asylum seekers, or illegal economic migrants, as I call most of them. So again, the thing is, it's out of control. It's our government is not an effective mechanism through which to manage our borders, as we've seen since Brexit. People voted for their borders back, and they haven't got them back. So, I mean, honestly, Julia, there's so much wrong. Where do we start? I think we have to have, and collectively, we need to start scrutinising the permanent secretaries, who I would argue, given that Parliament's been undermined by I think basically the two-party system. It's been the primacy of Parliament, the primacy of the elected MPs has been undermined. The ability of the people in Parliament has been undermined by selection processes from Cameron and Blair. So as a result, the civil service is out of control. They're
no longer civil servants. They think they can direct policy. They're open about it now.
Julia, they're definitely not. So I think, you know, the media needs to start turning its attention. Who are these permanent secretaries? What do they believe in? What are their names? Are they fulfilling their function properly? Because they're actually the people running the country. As I've said in the past, the front bench has never, most of them have never done anything real in their lives. They've never run a business. There's an overrepresentation of human rights lawyers throughout our entire.
And again, they're led by the civil servants who've been there. And again, I agree with you. I think it's civil servants are part of the problem, but I also think that lawyers are part of the problem, or courts and judges.
Totally, Julia.
Let me get to another case just finally.
Lawyers are enriched by all this. They're enriched. Well, I think there is a cultural issue, Julia, and possibly, you know, our are what I call underage white working class girls, is the family unit as strong as the family unit within the Islamic community? So what are the reasons? I think we need to start to analyse why this has been happening. And my rape gang inquiry, which we're carrying on with to hold the government to account, because I don't know about you, but I don't trust governments. Not only do they run up a huge bill with all these inquiries, they usually take forever. Yeah. And they usually end up with the establishment judging the establishment, which means you don't get the truth. So I think in this case, in his case, you asked me the question, it's a bit like if you aid and abet somebody who's doing something illegal, you yourself are judged as breaking the law. Yeah. Whether or not you know you're aiding and abetting something illegal. Now, it doesn't, for me, serve as a defense, the fact that he doesn't know that he's doing something wrong. Yeah. He's breaking our laws. He is effectively treating somebody underage in a way he shouldn't. And for me, it's quite straightforward. I would simply deport him. I don't think...
I'd just put him on a dinghy and send him straight into the channel.
I'd send him straight back to wherever he's from.
But we can't. Legally we can't. We can't fly him back to Afghanistan. They won't have him back.
Well, if those people won't accept them, then we cut off all foreign aid until they start to behave sensibly, because we can't have people here who don't respect our culture, don't respect our laws, and actually damage our own way of life. I think the British people have had enough of it now. The British people, Julia, are incredibly long-suffering. Yeah. But do you know what? I think they've got pretty much to breaking point.
I agree with you. I feel that there has been an absolute change in the last few months where people have gone, we're done now. This is it. Enough is enough.
You know, a country that's successful is a country that's based on enterprise, it's based on risk-taking, it's based on the individual. It's not based on the state. So somehow what we've got to do is reverse this issue. It's a huge issue.
Yeah. And it's a societal issue, isn't it?
It's a societal issue. It's driven largely by people like Blair, Brown, Campbell and Mandelson, who wanted this. They wanted a dependency culture. So what we've got to see, hopefully, and I think it is changing, the British people, the only chance they've got of changing this is to vote into power through first past the post at the next election, a selection of people who are going to change radically this misalignment which is happening within our country.
So I think what we've seen with the recent grooming gang expose and just the rot and the bad decisions and the decisions that seem to go against the interests of the country itself time and time again for decade after decade. And then with the cover-ups and all, I mean, it goes on, guys. We're seeing right now that there is a systemic rot within Westminster, that it goes deep and then it stretches wide. So the advice from Rupert Lowe about finding the right characters, the right individuals, foregoing voting for a party just because that's the way that you did it in the past, because that's the very thing that's got us into this problem. You see, if you just vote for a party no matter what, then they could just fill that party with the very worst kinds of people and you'll still vote for them. I think what Rupert is saying there is cast off the false illusion of this party, this safe space, and instead start looking for the men and the women and the patriots and the people that think like you and that you trust to do their actual job, and put them in charge instead. I think the worst decision that we could possibly make as a nation right now is to be conned by yet another salesman. See you later, guys.